The fate of a massive Democratic tax and spending bill was announced last week by Senators Joe Manchin and Chuck Schumer. Still hangs in the balance, though. Moderate Democrat Senator Kyrsten Sinema has not yet said whether she will support it. A lot of questions looming over whether the package Democrats are calling the Inflation Reduction Act will actually help American families struggling with rising prices or hurt them. A Wall Street Journal op-ed argues the Inflation Reduction Act is an insult to used car salesmen, adding, like that lemon sitting at the back of the lot. It's giving a little touch-up, a fresh coat of paint, a reduced price tag, and a bright new description. But it's still the same car. In Focus now, West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin. Great to have you in Focus today.
Oh, it's finally good to be with you, Harris. I know we've been talking about this for a while. It's so nice to be with you.
Well, thank you. And we have been talking about this for a while. And in fact, you know what? Let's start there. How did this deal come about so quickly and so quietly? Because you were a holdout like Kyrsten Sinema.
Well, I wasn't a holdout. I was basically opposed to the BBB at $3.5 trillion. And when it came down to it last December, I just couldn't do it, and I was just up front and told him I can't be done, and I can't get there, so that's over. But I always wanted to do something I could for my country, and this is all about my country. It's not about my politics or someone else's politics or my friends on the Republican side or my friends on the Democrat side or whoever's upset with me. It had nothing to do about any of us. This is about what can we do for the country, and right now inflation is the greatest threat that we have. It's hurting every West Virginian, I can assure you, at the gas pump, at the food store, and their energy bills, and just their daily lives. And if we have a chance, and I've said this all along, if I ever had a chance to have an energy policy that was balanced, and we could basically make sure we're producing more energy for what we have rather than going around the world asking other people to produce for us, shouldn't we do that? Isn't that something we all wanted? And that's what we got out of this. It's a great bill.
And I've read the part about what West Virginia could see in terms of energy. We'll get into that in a second, but I want to hit what you said, because you are absolutely right. Everybody's focused on inflation right now. Every poll shows it. So, you know, I'm looking at the Penn-Wharton budget model, which you, Senator, have been known to watch. It examined the details of the Schumer-Manchin deal, and actually it said something very different than you just said. It said that the impact on inflation, this is a quote, the impact on inflation is statistically indistinguishable from zero through 2031. Penn-Wharton modelers are saying, we don't agree with those who think deficit reduction will lead in a straight line to lower inflation. But that's what the Democrats claim for their bill. Well, so both things can't be true. And this is something that they're studying. So are you wrong, or are you not giving all of the hard truths to Americans about what this is going to cost them in terms of inflation?
Let's say maybe they're wrong. Okay, there's other ones that said absolutely different than that. Moody's has said different. And you have the bipartisan budget policies. They've said, Maya McGinnis and her group came out. We had 17 Nobel laureates last year when I said inflation is real, it's going to be here, and it's going to hurt us immensely. They said, oh, no, it's going to be transitory. And 17 of the brightest in the country were wrong.
Let me ask you specifically what cuts inflation in this bill.
Let me ask you this. How in the world could it be inflation when you're cutting? My Republican friends always said, we got to start paying down debt. I've been a budget hawk my whole life. We're paying down $300 billion. You're saying massive expenses? $3.5 trillion in BBB was massive expenses.
You asked me a direct question, so I'm going to answer you. So how is it not a straight line? Because I'm not saying, and even Penn-Wharton isn't saying that it won't eventually get there in a jagged line. But you know how it doesn't? Because we are cooking a higher rate of inflation right now ahead of wages. And even if everybody were to go out and get a job or 2 or 3 jobs right now, their wages can't keep up with what the cost of milk, bread, gas, so on and so forth.
Don't you think we ought to get those costs down? How you do that? By producing. You've got to produce your way out of this. You can't sit back and wait your way out of it.
So you're going to open pipelines?
Absolutely. We're going to build pipelines. We're going to do more drilling.
How are you going to sell that to the President of the United States, who on day one
it's already been sold and bought? It's already been. It's part of the deal. It's part of the bill. All you have to do is read the bill, Harris, and you'll see. You're not going to be able to do any more offshore wind or offshore or onshore solar and wind unless we're absolutely doing more production with drilling and extraction. It's all part of a balanced approach. We need more energy today So, and we also need to invest in the energy for the future. This is a balanced approach that everyone's been talking about, but everyone's upset for whatever reason because they're afraid it's a political bill. This is not a Democrat bill. This is not a Republican bill.
All right.
This is not a green deal. This is a red, white, and blue deal, Harris. And everyone's having a hard time understanding that we can walk and chew gum and do the great thing together if we'll still start looking at our country first and quit worrying about our politics.
What they see is a senator who they thought was moderate, who might push back on some of the talk about forcing us into a green situation.
I have pushed back on everything.
Let's talk taxes.
And if you think I'm going to roll over, I've been at this for 40 years. I have never, ever, ever been pushed into doing something I didn't think was right for my state or my country.
Let's talk taxes. Another criticism is that this will raise taxes. The White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, said this when asked about Biden's position. Let's watch.
He promised it wasn't going to raise taxes on anybody making less than $400,000 a year, but the Joint Committee on Taxation says that is not true.
Well, that is incorrect.
So the Joint Committee on Taxation, which you guys heralded as an effective body when you were selling that infrastructure package, is not to be trusted here.
I said it is not correct because I will give you why it's not correct, because it is incomplete.
We got to know the bottom line on taxes.
Let me tell you the bottom line on that, Harris. You want to know the bottom line? The Joint Committee on Taxation? That opinion was only written by my friends on the Republican side. It was not done by the whole Joint Committee. So that is unfair, too. So let's be accurate what we're doing here. The bottom line is, how in the world can you be raising taxes when all we're saying is the wealthiest corporations in America, 55 of them pay zero to help this great country of ours, to defend ourselves?
Well, how does this change that? Because that's part of the corporate structuring.
It's
right?
a minimum of 15%. The tax rate was at 35% before 2017.
Right.
Then it went to 21%. That was a tremendous savings, but that's not good enough, I guess. All we're saying is at 15% minimum, everyone in West Virginia I know, and most people around the country, pay a 21% corporate or greater. So why can't the greatest $1 billion of revenue a year, why can't they pay at least 15% for this great country?
Are you trying to also say, because this is the part that counts. I mean, people look at corporations and they know they've got great tax accountants. Heck, they have complete departments trying to come up with ways to find loopholes and to keep and to hire people as well. I mean, let's not forget that too. But $400,000 was supposed to be the cutoff, and I'm reading, and I am reading, Senator, that it's below that now.
Who's paying any taxes? Who's paying any taxes that doesn't have a corporation that has revenue of over $1 billion a year? Not one person. Not one person, Harris. You're assuming because they'll pass that on. The companies were paying zero.
No. I'm asking a different question than you're answering. I'm saying Americans, $400,000 and below now are going to be taxed. Their taxes are going to go up.
That's a lie. That is a pure outright lie.
So their taxes are not going to go up?
Not at all. And you know one thing? How about the people that are going to be saving as far as on their Medicare, $288 billion who are paying higher prices than they should? Aren't they? They didn't even assume that in the revaluation. They didn't talk about any of that. How about if gasoline prices go down because we're producing more oil to make more gasoline?
Well, and those are going to fluctuate. Already experts are saying we could go right back up before Labor Day, but I want to hit that tax line again of $400,000.
Be an American.
I got to hit that. Are you saying that Mitch McConnell and others in the Senate are wrong about those numbers and that Americans' taxes are not going to go up beyond that point?
Totally, absolutely wrong. Totally wrong. And here's the thing, they're looking at it through political lenses. Look at it through the American lens.
I'm just asking questions.
At it as, I'm just answering questions.
Okay.
I want to answer these questions because what you're asking and the facts you have are completely wrong.
Well, you guys are in the same chamber, so it'll be interesting when you finally get to the, to stir in the stew here, what it's really going to be like. I want to get to this. You gave some interviews over the weekend on Sunday shows, and at one point you were asked the question on whether or not you would like to see Democrats do much better than what they're forecast to do right now based on the numbers. 98 days away from the midterms.
Sure.
Did you dodge the question when you said so I can work with either side?
I never dodge a question.
Either side. Let's roll the tape. Let's roll the tape.
Let me give you an answer.
Let's roll the tape. Do
you hope Democrats keep control of the House and Senate?
I think people are sick and tired of politics, Chuck. But I'm not going to predict what's going to happen.
I'm not asking you to
I
predict.
just want to make sure we do something good. And this is...
What result do you want? Do you want the Democrats to keep control of the United States Senate and the House of Representatives?
You know, I'm not making those choices or decisions on that. I'm going to work with whatever I have.
You don't care about the outcome this year?
Whatever the voters choose, I can't decide what's going to happen.
That wasn't dodgeball?
That's not a dodgeball. I'm not getting involved in the political. This is not a political piece of legislation. This is an American legislation. We need energy. We need to pay down debt. We need to accelerate our permitting process so we can build things and meet the challenges.
Yeah, but the elections are going to need some help. You've got a president whose
I am not going to make a statement on that.
approval rating is like as low as Congress's.
Well,
I mean,
can't
no
we all do
offense, but
something
you know
great?
that
Are
when
you
you get into the 30s, no one's that popular, and
Harris,
that's
are
this
you
president.
scared we're going to do something good that'll help our country and
Of
someone
course
might
not.
take
My father
credit for
served. Are you kidding? Service
Well, it
is in the
sounds like you
Bible.
are.
That's what we do. We serve our fellow man and woman.
That's
of course.
exactly what I'm doing.
Don't
Exactly,
make this
Harris.
personal, because it's not. I'm simply asking that you've got a president who can't really help anybody on the campaign trail with the numbers he's rocking right now.
Well,
and
let
so
me
to
just
have
tell
you
you
say
this.
something like that, it doesn't sound supportive of your own party, and I'm asking
Let me just
why.
say this. I'm working with what I have here, and the majority party that we have is a Democratic Party. I'm working with a president who's accepted the proposal I've put forward and negotiated, which is a balanced energy policy. That's wonderful for our country. I know people who don't like the president or don't like Democrats might be upset. This is not about whether you like the president or whether you like Democrats. Do you like America? Do you want us to succeed as a country? Do you want to fight inflation? This bill does it.
Real quickly, the President of the United States, do you want to see him run in 2024?
I am not talking about 2022. I'm not talking about 2024. Okay. I'm talking about the American bill we have, the Inflation Reduction Act, which is a red, white, and blue bill. This is a great bill, and I wish my friends would look at it for what it is.
When we get CBO scores and when we get the things on this, and if it shows that those taxes are going back, you know, for Americans below 400,000,
sure,
you got to come back. We got to talk about it.
I'm
because
happy to come back and
that's the part that's
talk.
really going to hurt people. Nancy Pelosi on the ground in Taipei. Just a few seconds, Senator, your thoughts.
No, I think it was great what she did. I think basically we've all been there. I've been there. Mostly everybody in Congress has been there. They've been great allies. They're great working partners. And why would we not support those who support democracies and freedoms that we have? It just makes no sense to me at all. And it's not a threat. Trust me, Nancy is not a threat to China by saying that we support Taiwan. We want them to succeed, and they're great trading partners of us, and we appreciate the freedoms they love, same as we do.
Amen to all of that. Senator Joe Manchin from the great state of West Virginia, I look forward to the future conversations we will have.
Absolutely. Look the facts on that. Make sure you see the facts and
you
see
know
who's
I'm
writing
reading.
what. Okay.
You know I
all
am.
Right. Thank you.
I'm a recovering perfectionist. Good to see you. Thank you.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.